Here's what went down Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates. When Leslie bit the hand that might want to feed her, Kat didn't desire seconds of salsa, and Allison fed off of Chelsea's rejection. On Beyond the Gates, Tomas waited anxiously at Uptown for Kat in anticipation of a salsa dancing lesson they were to take there. Kat arrived late because she'd had trouble picking out a wardrobe for the occasion, yet she was looking forward to learning the style. They seemed to be the only students at the otherwise closed hotspot and were surprised to discover that their instructor was male, not female as they'd expected. The braggadocious Santi claimed to have the best hips in DC and got to work teaching Kat and Tomas some moves, but the couple struggled when Tomas seemed to have two left feet. Santi stopped the lesson, asking the pair where the passion was. "You're dancing salsa, not filing your taxes," the teacher exclaimed. Kat and Tomas tried again, but got into a disagreement. Santi stepped in with Kat to show Tomas how it was done. When Kat immediately caught on under Santi's tutelage, Santi repeatedly put Tomas down for his lack of ability. Tomas became increasingly annoyed until he cut in to take Santi's place and wowed Kat with his skills, attributing the improvement to having warmed up. Afterward, alone in the establishment, Tomas told Kat about the big gatherings his family had back in Puerto Rico, which were rich in food and music. Kat loved hearing about Tomas's life in the U.S. territory. Tomas guided Kat into silent dancing, emphasizing that when one had the right partner, one didn't need music. The two kissed passionately, and Kat put in a quick call to Chelsea, telling her that she may well need privacy at their place that evening. Chelsea was thrilled to hear that Kat, who had been underwhelmed by making love with Tomas before, was ready to instigate a second go-round after being swept away by Tomas's confidence. She told her cousin to text her later with the details. Tomas said he needed a shower after all their dancing, so Kat invited him to come home and bathe with her. Once Kat and Tomas emerged from the shower clad in towels, Tomas gently massaged Kat's shoulders, and after they resumed kissing, their towels fell to the floor. Following lovemaking, Tomas raved that it had been something else, confessing that Kat drove him crazy. All he could think about was kissing her and touching her. He did notice that Kat seemed quiet, but she smiled that their encounter had been great. Tomas felt they were on the same page and wanted to go for round 2. However, Kat responded with an alarmed, "Already?" Madison met Chelsea at the country club, where the couple discussed the unfortunate distance that had been developing between them because of their schedules. They promised each other they'd rectify the situation, and Chelsea showed Madison a special doctor tote she had designed for her. Just as Chelsea expressed glee over Madison being willing to tell her coworkers that her girlfriend had made the tote for her, a glamorous Allison interrupted. Chelsea was stunned to see her ex at the members-only clubhouse. Allison reported that she had gotten a guest pass from her personal trainer, Diego. Unhappy to hear Allison bragging that she'd be around Fairmont Crest a lot more, Chelsea was ready to text the management when Allison presented Chelsea with a business offer. She knew someone with a startup social media platform who could help Chelsea Kat publicize their launch. Irritated, Chelsea declared Allison the last person she wanted assistance from and accused Allison of plotting to come between her and Madison. Allison called it cruel when Chelsea threatened to have Allison escorted out. Chelsea assured Allison that her machinations weren't going to work because she and Madison were solid. When Madison needed to take a call, Allison fretted that Chelsea didn't care about her or about how Craig was treating her. Chelsea reminded Allison that she had advised her to leave Craig and charged that Allison was only playing up the situation with Craig as a way to get Chelsea's attention. After Allison left, Madison praised Chelsea for how she had handled her persistent former lover, but then Allison returned, insistent upon speaking to Madison. Allison announced that Chelsea was a selfish, two-faced bitch and that Madison needed to get out while she could. Chelsea was furious, but decided that she wasn't going to let some psycho drama queen make her lose her cool. When Chelsea vowed to file a restraining order against Allison, the offended woman vacillated between telling Madison that being involved with Chelsea was a big mistake and telling Chelsea that they were meant to be together. Allison crowed that Chelsea didn't know what she was missing, but that she would soon find out. She then stormed off. Madison labeled Allison unhinged, while Chelsea became determined not to let Allison separate them. The couple kissed after Chelsea marveled over having found something real. Allison watched from afar. Leslie continued her call with the law firm, which had sent her a letter claiming she was due an inheritance. Ms. Tomas became enraged when she was asked for her social security number, date of birth, and maiden name. Leslie went off on the representative and hung up, throwing her phone in disgust. An exasperated Eva huffed that she had been trying to help Leslie help herself. But Leslie had no faith in anything that was supposedly waiting for her at the end of a fake-ass rainbow. Leslie yelled that no matter what she did, Eva always found fault with it. Eva wouldn't let Leslie shut her down. She told her mother she was fine with lending her money, but that she had a problem going to Ted for it on her behalf. Leslie scoffed that the doctor probably spent more on lunch than he had given to her. Eva didn't want to have that kind of relationship with the father she had lain awake nights as a girl dreaming about. She finally had what her younger self had wanted, and Ted was treating her like a daughter, not like a mistake. Leslie pointed out that she had made that happen, but Eva didn't want her mom ruining it with her Leslie drama. While Leslie fumed that Eva kept choosing those bougie-ass people over her, and Eva countered with always being forced by Leslie to choose sides, Leslie's phone rang more than once. Leslie wasn't going to pick up any scam calls and became livid when Eva admitted that she loved Nicole. It had always been Leslie and Eva against the world, Leslie scolded, and it still should be. As her phone kept buzzing, Leslie angrily suggested that Eva handle it the way she tried to handle everything else in her life, then walked off. At Orphe Jean's, it had barely sunk in for Naomi that her second cousins, Tyrell and Samantha, were really June's children, Ron and Cecile, before Naomi realized that Martin and Smitty needed to be told. The parents were entitled to learn of their children's true identity before June could know where they were. Given the closed adoption, Jacob worried that the estranged Smitty and Martin already had enough to contend with. Naomi sadly agreed that the news they had for them could destroy that family. Martin and Samantha won a round of spades against Smitty and Tyrell at the condo. Samantha wanted game time to continue, only with charades, but Smitty felt that dishes needed to be taken care of first. As the teens left to tackle the chore, Martin admitted that he missed spending time with his family and that he felt like he'd been relegated to visiting hours. Smitty was concerned about giving the kids false hope and wanted Martin to respect his boundaries. The face-off was interrupted by Martin's phone. Smitty advised Martin to say his goodbyes after taking the call. Naomi soberly told Martin that she needed to speak to him and Smitty right away. As the Richardson Smiths waited for the Hawthorns, Martin noticed that Smitty seemed eager for him to leave. Smitty didn't want the kids thinking things were just going to go back to the way they were. Martin scoffed that he wasn't expecting forgiveness anymore and appealed to his stoic husband that he wanted more time with Samantha and Tyrell. When Smitty went to answer the door, Martin grumbled that it was because the place wasn't his home anymore. Smitty told Martin to stop laying guilt trips on him. The entering Jacob was glad to see the separated marrieds spending time together, causing them to grimace. Naomi was delighted the teens were out of the room because there was no way to sugarcoat what she had to say. She and Jacob had found their birth mother. Martin wondered why the lawyer-detective couple had even been looking for the woman. Naomi explained that June had actually found her long before she'd learned of the connection. When Smitty heard that June was homeless, he wasn't surprised. He had been doing a story on foster care in general when he had met Tyrell and Samantha as youngsters. Their mother's addiction had robbed them of everything except their bond with each other. Smitty recalled how protective the younger Samantha had been of the older Tyrell, and he rested his hand on Martin's knee as he shared his amazement over one assignment filling such a void in his life. Martin concurred that the kids had needed them and that they still did. Naomi and Jacob regretted bringing Martin and Smitty such unexpected news at a time when they were already dealing with enough. But now that June had been identified as their children's biomom, it was up to the dads to decide whether or not June should be informed of their whereabouts, and whether or not Samantha and Tyrell should meet June. Smitty was adamantly opposed, given how little they knew about June, while Martin was more open to the idea. as long as they had a discussion with the teens first, because the family was fragile enough as it was. The Hawthorns said there was no rush to make any decision and left the Richardson Smiths to ponder. Samantha and Tyrell emerged, having heard everything. The sarcastic Tyrell seethed that their mother had finally decided they were worth knowing and asserted how he had had to take care of Samantha after they'd been abandoned. Smitty and Martin told the kids they were old enough to reason for themselves whether they wanted to meet with the woman and promised that, no matter what happened, they were still a family. Tyrell and Samantha opted to discuss the matter amongst themselves. Although Tyrell was resolute about not seeing June, Samantha wanted answers. She wondered if perhaps they'd meant more to June than they'd come to believe. Tyrell pointed to a picture of their fathers and maintained that they had chosen him and Samantha, while their mother hadn't even bothered calling or writing. Samantha confessed that she sometimes dreamt about June and proposed that June might have done the right thing by giving them up, since June had been going through it. When Samantha asked if Tyrell wanted to get the whole story, Tyrell worried that the truth might be worse than what they'd been told. As the teenagers deliberated, Martin and Smitty agreed to support them in however they opted to handle things. Smitty assuaged Martin's worry that they might not be able to compete with any pull Samantha and Tyrell had toward June. Martin sighed that the kids had always had a stronger relationship with Smitty than with him. He wondered if he was just the other dad. Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama. Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates on Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Every time Ted thinks he's making progress with Nicole, there is always a setback, whether it's another secret from the past he's kept or just when he's about to meet Nicole for coffee. Leslie shows up and gets Nicole heated, and she leaves more annoyed at Ted than ever. Team Ted fans take another hit. In Thursday's episode, Ted is thrown for a loop by Nicole's latest move. Divorce papers, signed, sealed, and delivered. Look out, Ted. Carlton is sniffing closer and closer, and she will be a free woman to do as she pleases. Is this really the end of this Dupree couple? Discovering who your biological mother is comes as a huge shock and surprise to Samantha and Tyrell. But getting to meet her could be even more of a shock for these two kids. Jacob and Naomi located her, and she wasn't far away after all. Can Smitty and Martin prepare them both for this? In Thursday's episode, Naomi preps a nervous June for a momentous meeting. Having reconciled with her sister Regina, June just may have the support she needs to get through this. Shocking the unshockable, that's what happens on our screens. In Thursday's episode, Leslie receives a blast from the past at her doorstep. Leslie is none too pleased to see this person coming knocking on her door. Clearly no invites were sent. Only a mother can make a lady gasp like that, but is it Leslie's mother or Ted's? Stay tuned, soap fans, as this feels like another turning point in a growing story. The Dupree family home is where you go when you want people to make things right, or to feel loved and comforted in safety. In Thursday's episode, Anita and Vernon comfort their daughter. Both Nicole and Danny have a lot to deal with right now, and one of them heads home to feel the love. Completely unaware of the explosive secret waiting to blow their family apart, Smitty warns Martin that fun as game night has been, it hasn't healed the big issues between them. Their disagreement is getting heated when Naomi calls, saying she needs to meet with the husbands ASAP together. Upon arriving, Jacob and Naomi don't waste a moment, immediately revealing that they've located Samantha and Tyrell's birth mom. The men are shocked and not ready to meet with June. Unfortunately, Samantha and Tyrell hear the tail end of the adults' conversation. Smitty and Martin assure the kids that they will decide the path forward. Samantha lean towards meeting with their mom, while an angry Tyrell wants nothing to do with the woman who abandoned them. Ultimately, they tell Pops and Dad that they've decided to meet June. A gorgeously dressed Tomas and Kat get together at Uptown for what is supposed to be a sexy salsa lesson, but turns into a disaster. "You're dancing salsa, not filing your taxes," snaps the teacher. When he steps in to dance with Kat, it's as if she's a pro. The second time's the charm when Tomas and Kat finally find their rhythm. In fact, it goes so well that she suggests he shower at her place. They do exactly that, which leads to a steamy encounter. Afterwards, Tomas goes on and on about how awesome the sex was, but Kat seems, let's go with less thrilled. In fact, she seems downright uninterested when he wants to go for round 2. Meeting at the country club, Madison and Chelsea discuss their relationship and the fact that they seem to be struggling to get on to the same page. Just as they're achieving that goal, guess who interrupts? Chelsea's stalker ex has a business pitch, which Chelsea quickly shuts down. When Madison steps away to take a work call, Allison rolls out a sob story about how badly Craig is treating her. Madison's advice? Move out, seek therapy, turn to friends, anything but turning to her. Later, Allison returns to warn Madison that Chelsea will only hurt her. Chelsea threatens to get a restraining order, but that doesn't stop Allison from spying on the couple as they kiss at the country club bar. Leslie calls about the supposed inheritance and hangs up when the person on the other end asks for info like her birthday and social security number. Telling Eva to stop believing there's a pot of gold at the end of a fake-ass rainbow. Tired of all the Leslie drama, Eva rips into her mom. Their argument gets intense, with Leslie cut to the quick when Eva admits that she loves Nicole and hates what their antics have done to Ted and his family. Next on BTG, Ted is shocked by Nicole's latest move. Naomi helps a nervous June. Leslie gets a visitor from her past. Anita and Vernon console their daughter. The Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Thursday, August 14th, 25, spell drama in Fairmont Crest. There are old visitors from the past, bouts of anxiety, and sweet, tender moments. Ted will be thrown for a loop by Nicole's latest move. We don't understand why. Ted shouldn't be shocked by anything at this point. He's the reason why she's considering a divorce. Ted had an affair with Leslie and kept it a secret all this time, including the fact that they conceived a daughter. Whatever's going on, it seems like Nicole is finally done with Ted. She wants to cut ties with him and move on, and we can't blame her. Naomi will help June, who is having a case of the butterflies. She has been preparing for an important meeting that could forever change her life, which probably has to do with Jacob finding out that she could be Samantha and Tyrell's biological mother. This revelation will change everyone's life, including Martin and Smitty. But how will June handle this news? Will she be able to take on this responsibility? Leslie will get a visitor from her past. The person in question will make her jaw drop, which is hard for her to do. Leslie is always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. No one can ever pull a fast one on her. The trailer for the week of August 11 to 15 shows Leslie opening the door and saying, "Oh, my sweet baby, Jesus," who has her speechless. Meanwhile, Vernon and Anita will help their distressed daughter. Could it be Nicole, who's mourning the loss of her marriage to Ted? Or is it Danny who needs comforting? Her love life has also been a mess lately, to say the least. The upcoming episode of Beyond the Gates is slated to air on August 12th, 2025, and promises dramatic developments for the residents of Fairmont Crest Estates. According to the spoilers, Jacob Hawthorne from the police department will end up having a realization that could potentially change the way he views the Marcel Malone case. Meanwhile, Leslie Thomas will continue plotting and scheming ways to stay at Fairmont Crest Estates and cause harm to its residents. In addition to these developments, Samantha Richardson will try to find a way to make her parents, Martin Richardson and Bradley Smitty Smith, get back together and reconcile. On the upcoming August 12th, 2025 episode of Beyond the Gates, spoilers reveal that Jacob Hawthorne will end up having an epiphany that will help him solve a mysterious case. Spoilers reveal that Jacob and his wife, Naomi Hawthorne, will finally be able to figure out who June's 2 children are and why she continuously carried a picture of the 2 of them. The plot hint that the kids in the photograph are none other than Samantha Richardson and Tyrell Richardson, Martin Richardson, and Bradley Smitty Smith's children. Spoilers of Beyond the Gates reveal that in the coming episode, a revelation will be made. In the upcoming episode of the show, Samantha will spend time trying to plot ways of how she could potentially assist her parents, Martin and Smitty, to get back to each other. Recently on the show, Smitty had made it clear that it would be impossible for him to live with Martin since he knew that Martin had lied to him for 2 years regarding the car accident and his killing a man in self-defense. Smitty had also asked Martin to pack up his things and leave the apartment for the time being, since he was unsure of whether he wanted him to spend time with Samantha and Tyrell. Spoilers for the coming episode of Beyond the Gate reveal that Samantha would try her best to make her family cohesive again, but soon, Tyrell and her world would crumble. The plot hints that Samantha and Tyrell would end up finding out details that would change the way they viewed each other and their sibling relationship. Meanwhile, spoilers for the upcoming episode reveal that Leslie Tomas will receive an important piece of correspondence from somewhere and will try to dig for more information. The letter could either be from the police, the government, or some of her old friends and family members. However, in addition to Leslie preparing to find out more details about the letter, in the upcoming episode, Leslie would also end up getting an unexpected visitor who would be a blast from her past. The plot reveals that Leslie Tomas would open the door to her apartment and be shocked to find an older lady standing there for her, and it would be someone whom she had previously known. Spoilers reveal that this woman's name would be Peaches, and she would turn out to be someone who had played a part in Ted Richardson and Leslie's affair. In the Wednesday, August 13th episode, Allison was kind of scary and definitely needy and thirsty. In the Wednesday, August 13th episode of Beyond the Gates, Tyrell and Samantha decided to meet their biological mother, June. It took a while, but Kat and Tomas ended up clicking on the dance floor, but not in the bedroom. Leslie's fighting what could be a lucrative venture if she would just open herself up to it. And Chelsea and Madison had to deal with Allison's antics yet again. Things have cooled a little between Madison and Chelsea since Chelsea took Allison to the hospital. But now, the women are trying to shut down some of the distance that has suddenly developed. Of course, in their quest to get a little closer, Allison popped up to make things difficult. But this time around, she's a little more unhinged than ever. She has trumped up some business opportunity in order to spend some quality time with Chelsea. She expects Chelsea to solve all her problems with her ex, Craig, who has turned abusive, according to Allison. And then she even turns on Chelsea in one breath, warning Madison that she's making a big mistake being with the purse designer. And then, in the next breath, she insists that Chelsea is the one for her, and they should be together. Oh, and that's when she's not calling Chelsea a two-faced beach. Allison's last little warning was ominous. You don't know what you're missing. Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. Allison walked off, but she didn't completely leave. She spied Chelsea and Madison and their too-good-to-be-true vibes from afar. What does "you'll find out soon enough" mean? Chelsea needs to turn to her brother-in-law and get that restraining order going. While she's at it, she might want to look into some personal security. Allison's edge is not just unhinged, it's a little dangerous. The woman is intense and unpredictable. And while we still don't know much about Madison and have some doubts about whether she's on the up and up, the priority here is to take care of Allison. What did you think of the episode? How much do we need to worry about Chelsea? Were you surprised that Kat was still feeling the ick with Tomas after having sex with him a second time? And are you happy that Tyrell and Samantha agreed to meet June? Let us know in the comments. In the Beyond the Gates episode that aired on August 11th, 2025, things took a turn for the residents of Fairmont Crest Estates in Washington, Maryland. Devin Hamilton Winters from Genoa City, Wisconsin, arrived at the gated community, met with Anita Dupree and Vernon Dupree, and made an offer that they were not able to reject. Meanwhile, Andre Richardson opened up to Ashley Morgan about wanting to be in a relationship with her and not Danny Dupree, but Ashley ended up rejecting him. In addition to these developments, Haley Lawson Hamilton walked in on Danny comforting Bill Hamilton and got extremely jealous. On the August 11th episode of Beyond the Gates, Bill Hamilton was shocked to see his wife, Haley Lawson Hamilton, sharing a coffee with Sammy, who in reality was Randy Parker. However, Haley told him that Sammy had come just to return her mobile phone and her purse to her. Haley then shared with Bill that she was not feeling too well, especially after suffering a miscarriage, and Bill swept her off her feet and carried her over to the bed so that she could get some rest. Meanwhile, on Beyond the Gates, Danny Dupree and Andre Richardson had an open and honest conversation with each other. Andre told Danny he was ready to settle down with someone else, and she admitted she knew it wouldn't be her. She said she'd miss their intimacy most. Later, Danny visited Bill, who was grieving his unborn child. She apologized for arguing with Haley before the miscarriage, and Bill shared that the loss felt like missing a second chance at fatherhood. As Danny hugged him, Haley walked in and appeared upset. On Beyond the Gates, Danny also apologized to Haley for ever having doubted her pregnancy, and then left. Haley told Bill that she was not sure whether she could go through the ordeal of getting pregnant again, but Bill insisted and then told her that he would put another $100,000 in the fund for their child's education. Nicole Richardson and Danny had a long conversation at the Dupree mansion, and Danny admitted that she still loved Bill, her former husband. Andre went over to the hospital's nurses' station to meet with Ashley Morgan and told her that he wanted to be in a relationship with her. However, Ashley rejected him, and he left looking extremely hurt and upset. In addition to these developments, Vernon Dupree and Anita Dupree had a meeting with Genoa City's Devin Hamilton Winters, who offered Anita a music deal. Anita told Devin that she did not have the energy to record another new album, but instead said that he could help her re-release an old Articulates song and use Barbara's voice track from the old demo. Also this week on BTG, Bill's hurting and Haley's jealous. Kat and Tomas are once again not in sync with each other. Last week on Beyond the Gates, Haley's pregnancy took another faux turn when she suddenly miscarried. She has Danny and Bill fooled, though. Plus, the Articulates ended their comeback concert with an emotional tribute. Doug devised a plan to take down Joey Armstrong, and Andre had a relationship epiphany. This week on BTG, it looks like Ted and Nicole are headed into permanent Splitsville. Yes, Nicole finally takes that decisive step, leaving Ted stunned. Meanwhile, Kat may find yet another sign that she's not compatible with Tomas. Tyrell and Samantha's story also has a huge development. How will Smitty and Martin handle the news? What Haley is doing and saying in the video preview is decidedly different. As she witnesses Danny comfort Bill over Haley's miscarriage, the new Mrs. Hamilton tells someone, "We suffered a horrible loss." I mean, what other reason would Danny be here than to express sympathy? Meanwhile, Haley looks jealous. She doesn't look understanding at all. Ted is at the country club and he is upset. "Nicole filed for divorce. I just got the papers," he tells Anita and Vernon. Anita responds with some sobering advice. "If you want to fix your marriage, fight for her." Since Leslie blew up his marriage to Nicole, he hasn't had much contact with the Dupree matriarch and patriarch. Maybe he should have sought their advice a long time ago, and he wouldn't be in this dire place right now. Don't look now, but Kat and Tomas are out of step as they try to heat things up with what should be a fiery salsa dance. Unfortunately, they look awkward and incompatible. "That was supposed to be like a vertical expression of a horizontal desire," Kat explains to someone. Meanwhile, Eva has that knowing look on her face that if she and Tomas tried the same dance, it would be fire. Instead, she tries to empathize. "It could be scary learning a new dance," she claims. "It's crazy how you just get me," Tomas says. "Yeah, crazy," Eva reacts. Talk about bad timing. Just as Martin, Smitty, Tyrell, and Samantha seem to reconnect over family game night or whatever else is going on, the husbands receive stunning news. They hear something life-changing. "We found Tyrell and Samantha's biological mother," Naomi reveals. This must mean what BTG fans have been suspecting. June is their biological mom. What happens next? Finally, Leslie opens her door, and she has quite the reaction to who's standing there, live and in person. "Oh, my sweet baby Jesus." "No." Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest some major moments during the week of August 11th to 15th, and there are also some casting changes to talk about. Who's coming and who's going on the CBS soap over the next 5 days? Read more below. The young and the restless Devin Hamilton, played by Brighton James, will appear in the first ever crossover story for the new CBS soap during the Monday, August 11th episode. Devin will present a shocking proposal to Anita Dupree, so it sounds like he'll either present her with a music deal or possibly have more concert dates lined up. As the weekend hits, The Articulettes will have to make a decision about their future. So what will the trio decide? And could fans see Anita in Genoa City at some point? BTG spoilers imply that June will be seen during the week of August 11th to 15th, as Naomi Hawthorne will prepare the nervous woman for a major meeting on Thursday, August 14th. It sounds like Jacob Hawthorne will realize that Tyrell Richardson and Samantha Richardson are the two kids in the photo that June holds so dear, and that she's their biological mother. This is a major bombshell that is sure to stir up a ton of drama on the canvas, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next. Chelsea Hamilton's unhinged ex-girlfriend, Allison, played by Brianna Roberts, will reappear during the Wednesday, August 13th show. Added teasers suggest that Chelsea will lay out some boundaries for Allison, but will Allison adhere to them? She's been crossing lines all over the place where Chelsea is concerned, so it sounds like this may turn into a stalker obsession storyline. Fans will have to tune in to see how this all unfolds. Are you pumped about the week of August 11 to 15? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out CTS often for the best Beyond the Gates spoilers, news, and updates. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.